What's going on, guys? This is your boy Linux Android, and let me show you. I'm doing this video to show you the phones that I have, and let me tell you about a description about myself. I'm just an average guy, I have a job, and I have all these phones that I have right here on this table. I bought them with my own money. I'm not getting sponsored by nobody. Nobody bought these phones for me. And I'm just a regular guy, who likes to talk about tech. I like to do videos about it. And let me tell you about something about my phones. This is the Motorola Cplay from 2016. I bought it 2 years ago. It's been a great phone. It runs on stock Android almost, and it works with the mods. You could put the mods right here: battery, camera, projector, speaker, Polaroid mod. It has a headphone jack. It has a big battery. This phone is not considered a flagship because it has the Snapdragon 626, so it's considered a mid-ranger. But there's not much difference, and it's still a great phone. And the only reason I'm moving away from this phone because I just recently upgraded to the new Moto Z3 with the Snapdragon 835. That's a flagship phone. And since I move on to Verizon network, this one is GSM unlocked and it doesn't work on Verizon, so there's no need for me to use this phone anymore. So I'm just gonna give it away to my girlfriend. She likes the mods, and this was a great phone, very good phone. Motorola Cplay, great battery life. Now let me show you here the big boy right here, Xiaomi Mi Mix. If you haven't heard about Xiaomi, Google it, watch YouTube videos. Xiaomi is a big company, Chinese company. They're big in India, in China, in Europe, Latin America, and they're starting to get here, coming to the United States. And Xiaomi is big because and so popular because they sell flagship phones at affordable price. They'll sell you a flagship phone, like around $500, $300, like the Poco phone. If you haven't heard about the phone, go watch it on YouTube. It's $300 and it has a Snapdragon 845 processor. And it has a big battery. I believe it's 4,000 million powers. I think it's a 1080 resolution LCD screen. But the 845 processor, that's the processor that Android flagship phones have, like the Note 9, the LG G7, the Pixel 3 XL, the HTC U12 Plus. So that's impressive. I bought this phone about 1.5 years ago for $600. Great phone, 6.4-inch screen, 6 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. It's a beast of a phone. It's almost bezel-less. As you can see, the front-facing cameras right here at the bottom right here, the bottom right corner. It's almost all bezel-less. The screen. This is a great phone. It's a beast right here. So this is a Xiaomi Mi Mix right here. Next up, we have the Galaxy Note Edge. This one came out 4 years ago, and it was futuristic. A lot of people call it maybe an experiment. This one came out along with the Galaxy Note 4, and the main attraction of this one is the edge screen. It has this edge screen, the panels. You can use it as apps and for other stuff, the weather, sports, and another great phone. Flagship phone. When this one came out, it was so expensive. I remember I bought it for almost $800. I sold my Note 3 back then and got this phone. I have a lot of great memories with this phone. It still has a removable battery, the SD card, and the IR blaster, to troll. If you want to troll TVs, anything. Great. The only negative about this phone, it's the battery life is average, and I changed the original battery, and Samsung doesn't make any new batteries for this phone, so you gotta buy third-party batteries, and the batteries are really bad. Battery life in this phone, it's average to bad. So that's the only reason why I still don't use it, but I still like it. I have a lot of great memories for this phone, and it still impresses me. Very good looking phone, and the edge screen. I prefer this edge screen over the new curved edge screens that Samsung has, including the Note 9, S8 Plus, S9 Plus, S6 Edge. I think this was better. It was a better design. Next up right here, we got the Nexus 6 stock Android. This one came out also about 4 years ago, and it has a big screen, 6-inch screen, 1440 resolution, AMOLED screen, and it's about stock Android. And if people ask what's stock Android, it's the way Android should be run, by Google. Google owns Android, and the Nexus back then, before Google killed the brand and called it the Pixel, it was Google's own phones. Motorola manufactured this phone, but Google added up. Google puts the software on this phone, and it was a very good phone. It's still very good. Battery life is not great. It is average, but it's a very good phone for media because it has a large screen and the 16:9 ratio. It's a very good phone, and I bought it cheap from eBay. You could find it right now for like $100, $150. That's a good deal. I remember back then, I wanted to buy this phone, but it was kind of overpriced when it came out, and I was more into Samsung. But I always wanted to buy the Nexus 6. I always wanted to experience the stack Android. I remember the stack Android fanboys always criticizing Samsung for being laggy, TouchWiz, and all that, and they used to praise a lot about the stock Android. So I used to think stock Android was the best thing. And maybe a couple years ago, it was better. People used to root their phones, their Samsung, LG, HTC, to stock Android ROMs, but not anymore that much, because a stock Android right now is pretty much boring. It's just basic Android. And I think OnePlus with Oxygen OS on top of it is much better. It's faster. Samsung's own UI on top of Android is much better, the stock Android. But the only problem with Samsung is the updates is slower, and Samsung needs to improve on that. So come on, Samsung, get it together. And this is the other phone, and this is the old phone, the OG phone right here. This is my first smartphone. This is the Motorola Droid Bionic. It's so old. It's from 2011. As you can see, it has the HDMI port. Back in those years, you were able to connect this phone, with HDMI cable. I used to have it. So that's how you know it's old. I have a lot of great memories with this phone too. And still and I still have it. I still keep it. Obviously, I don't use it anymore, It's my main phone or backup. But I still keep it, It's just right here. I'm doing a speed test right now. 2G network, Spectrum, 19 download, and about 11 upload. They're good speeds, average speeds. For an 8-year-old phone, that's pretty good. And this is my new phone right here. The Moto Z3, the newest phone from Motorola, the Moto Mods. And as you can see, I just barely unbox it, barely open it, and I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna make a separate video about this. The review of this phone's coming up. So this is a video to show you just about my phones, what I have. And so that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.